Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Angela Brennan and today I'm using some of the Concord 9th products which I finally received and to make a few Father's Day cards. I thought I'd stop with Father's Day cards, but I also end up making a couple of birthday cards. I start off by using the PINKFRESH Studio Slim Stripes die to die cut some strips of card at 1/4 of an inch, and I use that as the basis of the card. I make pretty clean and simple cards in this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And when you do subscribe, remember to press that notification bell so you're alerted when a new video is uploaded. Do head over to my blog, and the link to my blog is in the description below, where you'll get to see close-up pictures of all the cards I've created, as well as the products I've used, which is also listed in the description below. I also end up making a couple of cards which are not what I would call conventional size cards, and that leads me to create custom sized envelopes, and I use my We Are Makers envelope punch board to create envelopes for those cards. I do have a separate video which shows you how I use the We Are Makers envelope punch board to create various size envelopes, but I do show you in the video later on how I create an envelope as well. It's really easy using the punch board. There are a couple of products that I use in this video, the AVERY ELLE Mom and Dad stamp, as well as the Concord 9th simple serif die sets. These are products that I've had in my craft stash for a long time, and I've kind of neglected them, so I bring them out to use it here. They are really old and I couldn't find them to link them in the list of products used below, but do use what you have in your craft stash, and I'll see if I can find any substitutes they can use as well. Sometimes if we want to create something, it's best to see what you haven't used in a long time and use those products in your craft stash, because if not, they never get used. I will leave you with some music now, and I'll catch you later. The second stencil is all about giving the much loved sentiment a shadow. These stencils come with registration marks at the top. It's kind of hard to see, which is why I use my Sharpie and put the numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the right hand corner so it's easier to see which is the stencils I need. I use a darker ink here to give that shadow effect the much loved sentiment. I like using the shadow. You don't have to use all 3 stencils. So I leave it here with just the stencils 1 and stencil 2, and I don't use the third stencil, which is I think more of a highlight. Here I use the sticky mat in my stamping platform, which is the Misty, to put strips of paper to stamp the sentiment. Now, in order to ensure that all of it matches, I stamp the sentiment with VERSAMARK ink and I emboss it with white embossing powder. So you got white on white, and I will use the ink that I used on the card earlier, which is a Catherine Fuller ink, to ink the strip. Therefore, it will match. And the ink will resist all the areas that are embossed, so I will basically get a strip that matches the card with white embossing. I think it's a neat way to ensure that your sentiment strips matches. Here I want a sentiment that says to the man, the legend. So there's part of a stamp that says to my. I just stamp the to and wipe off the my. So I get to followed by the sentiment. This is one way to stretch your sentiment stamps. You don't have to use all of the words in the sentiment. You can block off some of it and just use the parts that you need and create new sentiments from the stamp set. One way to stretch your stamps. all the cards I created. I added an extra heart there, just matching the strips of card. I think it looks a bit pretty there. And you can add any sentiment. You can put any wordings in there. I've used this for Father's Day card, but you can put the name of the person. You can even put the age of the person if it's a birthday card. In this card, I used the 3rd stencil and created the highlight with some VERSAMARK and white embossing powder. And here I've made a couple of birthday cards where I put the age of the persons. I think it's kind of cute. You can add any sentiment to create the messages that you want. Now I also show you in the next part how I create a custom size envelope for the 2 cards with the brown border, which measure 5 by 6.5, and I use the We Are Makers envelope punch board to create them. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And when you do subscribe, remember to press that notification bell so you're alerted when a new video is uploaded. In the meantime, happy crafting, and I'll catch you at my next video. Do take care.